Good morning, everybody, and how are you doing today? That's great, good to hear it. All right, what do we have today, Fernando?
Today we have a Mercedes.
Did you eat a banana for breakfast?
Yes, I did.
I think we need to walk the peel out.
What?
I can smell it. As we said. No, it doesn't. We have a Mercedes Benz. This is a cl500. You might ask yourself, what are we doing today and why is the hood open? After all, the battery isn't there, the battery's back here. You'd be correct. And I'm surprised Paul hasn't mentioned that the battery's in the trunk yet. It's one of his favorite things to do. He knows how much it irritates. What we got going on here is a new radio, Kenwood DDX 6904S. We're gonna do an 801.5 amplifier to replace the factory amplifier. We're gonna use a Metro 8587 27W dash kits, wood grain, that's what the W stands for. And then the reason why we have the hood open is because we're also going to be doing Sirius XM. There's really no place to put the Sirius XM antenna on the outside of the vehicle. Can't put it on the trunk because the trunk sits like 14 inches off of the car. And this guy here, which is the wire, it is a retractable cable. Putting it up here, it's just asking for a problem. There's no good place to put it here on the roof. He's already got rust and fun stuff like that. What we're gonna do is we actually put it inside this right here. Works great. You also can't go underneath the glass in these because it's got metal in it and it just, the reception sucks. And it just looks cheesy on sitting on the dash. Fernando's working on that right now because that's actually gonna take a lot of time, but in the end, it's the right way to do it. We're not gonna be retaining stereo controls. I don't know what harness it needs yet because Paul didn't give me one. Looks like I have an antenna adapter, which is the BAA7. We have a Stinger power kit. We need to get the dash out. We need to get the rear apart. We need to find the factory amplifier. We gotta do a lot of stuff. Now, one other thing I want to show you. So over on this side, right over here, is where the factory wiring runs down, so we want to utilize that. It's got zip ties, it's all out of the scissors, it's all good there. But we want to mount our antenna over on this side over here. So right now he's starting to remove the heat shield so that we can get to this piece here and drop it down, get our antenna mounted, run our wire across, back down, across this way. And then over here, this is the waterproof fuse box that's underneath the hood of the car. There's this one little nipple right here. We're gonna whack that off. We're gonna run our wire through there. Then we'll go ahead and insulate it back up. This goes directly into the car. There's a giant hole that just goes right into the car here. Well, that's where the wire will go through and then it'll run up behind the radio. Pretty simple, right, Fernando?
Pretty simple.
Yeah, hey, he's got his GoPro. Once he gets inside the car, then of course we'll run it over to the radio and plug it into the SVX300, which and then we'll work off of that radio. Now, some of you might be thinking, all right, wait a minute, he's got a CarPlay radio, Sirius XM is a CarPlay app, why not just do that? And that would be my thought on the matter, why not just do that? Wouldn't that be better?
That would be fantastic.
Join me in the trunk, or Fernando under the hood, one of the two is gonna insert it after this, as we start to take this car apart and have some fun.
shifter slightly counterclockwise, then wiggle the shifter knob upward and remove it.
Okay. I got it. Turn the car on. Alright, so there's nothing coming there. Turn the car off. Alright, turn the car back on.
Still got power.
Still got power. We'll just check it once we get it out. Alright, so let me see what... Alright, let me unplug this. Alright, so that is remote turn on. The blue is remote turn on, it's not accessory. It's coming from the radio.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so we got power, ground, and then turn on. So what you want to do anytime you pull a German car out, before you disconnect the radio, you always want to test the center pin for 12 volts. That's going to tell you if it needs one of those cool amplified antenna adapters. All that is a switching relay to turn on the amplified antenna. It's not actually an amplifier. In this case, it doesn't have it in the center pin. If it doesn't, that means it's going to be somewhere else. So you're going to want to go to the main harness and check to see if you can find one, because these are always going to have some form of an amplified antenna. In this case, it is this blue wire here, which is like pin 2. All this harness is going to have is power and ground. Everything else is done through the data bus. So we'll have to get an accessory, which should be at the cigarette lighter. Oh, cool. One of these should be illumination and accessory. Turn on the headlights. Black is accessory. Gray is usually illumination. Alright, so what did we say black was? Alright, so with it in here. Alright, so there, gray is illumination. The wires are attached. We have our female ends here. This will plug back down. This will stay up here like this. The main wiring in the dash that we have to worry about is done. We have this fiber optic cable here that is just attached by a little piece of tape. We're going to tuck this up because we don't want to get this broken or anything like that. So we're just going to get this out of the way. Next, we have to figure out where we're going to put our GPS antenna. My thought is to go ahead and remove this center speaker that we're not going to be using anyways. How you get it out is you just take your pick tool and you just kind of pry up underneath the front here, and that'll snap this up enough, and then you just pull it forward. There's two little pins here and here, and this just comes right out. There's also two little teeth right here that grab on. Mount the GPS antenna and bent some ABS plastic to make a nice little mount the same shape as the speaker. Screw it in place. This radio doesn't actually have navigation. This is to help the cell phone's navigation antenna if it needs it. So on these Mercedes, that's the gas tank. They put the gas tank inside the car over the rear axle. I guess it's to add weight, better performance, and I guess they think about that stuff. We're retaining all the factory speakers on this one, but we do need to get 6 RCAs through and remote turn on. Amplifier looks like it's buried over here beneath the changer. Let me show you this corrosion real quick. So this is the factory 6-disc Alpine CD player. I don't know what this looks like, some kind of sticky, maybe insulation. The carpet was stuck to the side panel here. I mean, this car is 11 years old. No, 15 years old. This plug down here, that is the amplifier. Those two orange guys there, those are the fiber optic cables. All this through here is fiber optic. We're not going to be retaining any of that. Nav TV does make an interface to retain the factory amplifier, but this customer didn't want to do that. It's cheaper just to buy an amplifier. Now we just have to get this out and then get the back seat out, which is not going to be fun, so that we can run our RCs through here. So I'm not one to let the vegetables sit on the plate. I like to do what I'm not going to like first. One of the things I'm not going to like is taking out this back seat. We're going to pause on the trunk for a minute, and we're going to hop in here and get this back seat out. In this particular car, there is a push button on the bottom. Pull up the cushion. It's this cool little white thing right here. You just push on it, and it releases the little finger that holds this in place.
Alright, so on the grand scale of things, this one was really easy to get out for the most part. Where these Mercedes get difficult is these retractable headrests sometimes cover the seats, and you have to get those out before you can remove the back seat. When that happens, pack a lunch. As you can see, there's the trunk, there's the hole, that's the outside there. This is where we'll come through with our RCAs and our remote turn on. We can zip tie it up through here. We didn't want to go up this side because that's where the main power runs up, so that's why we just took apart this side. Plus, this is, you know, we're gonna end up pulling most of this apart anyway so that we could run up the Bluetooth mic and also bring in this Sirius XM antenna. But the dread of getting the back seat out is now over. Feel better?
Yes.
Me too.